Sup my beautiful and lovely gamers, my name is Jonal, and today Stylosa made a video that I do not agree with, talking a little bit about skin advantages and disadvantages of skin picks, what she called the skin meta. Now this video is not to trash on Stylosa. It had nothing to do with that. I believe Stylosa is an amazing player after what I've seen of him and after what I've heard him, what he talks about and stuff like that. I think that he is an amazing player. I think that he is actually really good at the game and understands the game quite well. And on top of that, I also think he's a good YouTuber. I watch his YouTube videos. I think that's one of my most viewed channels. There's a couple of which that I liked more. But besides that, he is a great player, and he has a great YouTube, and I would love to meet and would love to talk to him one day in the future, hopefully. But I still want to talk about this skin meta thing, because there are actually a way to use skins to your advantage, because there are actually skins in this game that are giving a small advantage. This is one of the reasons that in tournaments you use default skins. You're not allowed to use any in-game skins. You're all up with default skins to level the playing field. Now, the only skin that actually gives an in-game advantage, like a proper in-game advantage, is Okami skin and Lone Wolf from Hanzo. Now, the only thing that happens here is that when you fire your Dragon Strike, the wolf heads are bigger, which blinds more when they're sent towards people. There was a strategy that I haven't seen it much used anymore, but I used it. It used to be used quite a lot before, which is called Riding the Dragon. Essentially, you fire Dragon Strike at a choke, and then your team would rush, right? The Dragon Strike would force people away from the choke. On top of that, the Dragon Strike would obscure the line of sight, so it would be harder to some extent to pinpoint a target and easily just tap him down with some nice headshots. So that was a tactic, and if you use Lone Wolf or Okami, this will blind. It's the same like in theory in a Graviton, when the first initial dragon hit, when it blinds, it's harder to shoot out from the Graviton to revenge pick or deal more damage, stuff like that, in general, giving you a harder time to see what's actually going on. And while it's a minor thing, it is still an advantage, and that's actually a physical in-game advantage, because as you can see on the screen, there is actually quite the size difference in between the wolf heads and the dragon heads of the skins. Besides that, this is something that I remember talking back with one of my old DPS players. This was before we played in the first division. Essentially, we talked a lot about, he had this entire idea and mentality about color-based skins. And I believe that you cannot hide in this game like that. It's not like there is snow on the map there for white skins. Oh, I'm more camouflaged. Or it's a darker map, so dark skins, I'm more camouflaged. Unless you actually have bad eyesight, like really bad eyesight, that's not gonna make any difference at all. For example, I know someone who has 10% eyesight and plays Overwatch, and she tells me, that, if you have a red skin on and there's a brick wall background, I can have problems actually seeing that there's someone standing there before they actually shoot at me. And that's because they have 10% eyesight, so if you have good normal eyesight, you see 90% more than them, okay? So therefore, you blur in with the environment. For normal people, for normal gamers with proper eyesight, decent eyesight, this is not going to be a factor. What it is, however, I don't agree with this, but that's his opinion, so I would love to hear yours. We don't have to agree, as always. It's a good discussion. But he said that, if you use someone like the Blackheart skin, which is fully covered in black, your head hitbox is blending more in with your body, so especially in lower elos, it makes it harder for them to detect your hitbox, because it's not as glaring and just like peeking out of nowhere. Take that Lieutenant Wilhelm skin, which is like blue, and then you have the head of Reinhardt with his hair, and that's kind of like, it's kind of pointing out, so it's easier to naturally go after that, because it's not blending in, essentially. I can't find any words for it right now. I'm very sorry. All of a sudden my brain is lagging. So essentially, by using more like unison colored skins, it could be harder to get a headshot. I don't believe that ever happens. I believe that if you are half decent at the game, you will by instinct go for headshots, and you will naturally know where the headshot is. And again, with normal eyesight, I can perfectly fine see the hitbox, but I understand, the mentality that, if it just happens 1 in 100 times, that 1 in 100 times is still an advantage. So I understand why I use whatever skin I find cool, essentially, wherever I like weapons on. That's what I do. But I would like to hear your opinion. Do you agree on this topic? And what do you think about the big wolf heads? Is that actually something that you think is an advantage? Is that something that is a little bit unfair? Or is it, you know, okay, fine, they're bigger and they are blinding and stuff like that, but it doesn't really matter that much to the game? I would love to hear your opinions. As always, we don't have to agree, but it's a great way to start a discussion about it. But as I said, guys, my name is Journal. I hope you have a lovely gaming experience. Stay positive, and as always, keep the enemy in your crosshair.